Hey. Welcome to the Coach's Corner. I'm your host, George Zayas, along with my friend and partner in boxing, Coach Dave Sieve. Welcome to the show, Dave.
What's happening? What's happening?
What's going
All
on?
right, we are back. All right, after a night of unrest and protest, we are back.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm happy we're back. I mean, we missed you guys last week. We had well, let me shut that off. All right, so we had crazy protests last week and all that stuff. So we decided not to go on the air. I think it's the right thing to do. But we're back today. We're gonna be back on Thursday with some guests. But tonight's gonna be really important. What do we got, Dave? Talk to him.
We got coaches because we're Coach's Corner, not Coach's apostrophe. That's for Coach's ES. So we're bringing a coach to come talk.
All right, so why don't we introduce him? He's if you watched us, you know he's one of the coaches. He's always around. By the way, he coaches professional boxers as well. It's not just the amateurs, but if you watch any of our shows, you'll recognize him. And we've chopped up his name a million times. But
Gadigan, that's my boy, Gadigan. I know how to say that.
That's not it. That's not the name. What's the matter with you? What are you crazy? Let's do this the right way. Let's introduce.
What? His first name is Joe. Did I get that wrong?
No, you got that right. So let's introduce none other than Joe Gadigian. Welcome to the show, Joe. All right, well, thank you and welcome to the Coach's Corner. I'm sorry, Dave cut your name up again, man. He did it again.
Yeah. I'm not Irish.
All right, so listen, welcome to the Coach's Corner. This is your first time on the Coach's Corner. You know what we do? We talk about boxing. We talk about what's going on. And you guys are gonna chop it up a little bit about tonight. We got the uppercut and head movement. So, Dave, I think you want to start it off with something.
All right, so let's
let me wait. I'm sorry.
Go around to a short video, and then
wait before you do the video. Joe, you're from the Westbury Boxing Club, is that correct? Out in Long Island.
Westbury Boxing Club, Nassau County. Yep.
All right, and then what do you train there? Tell us a little bit about yourself before we go into the videos and we start talking about
I'm a volunteer boxing coach, just like Dave and you. We run a boxing program for at-risk youth, and that's our focus. But it's we've been around a long time. I've been involved in the gym since 1979. I boxed from 79 to 89. I've been involved as a coach since 1990. I was in and out of there more than once. Over the years, there was a couple of guys running the place that I didn't approve of, so to speak. So I might not have been all there, but that's my home, and that's where I live, other than the place where you guys are speaking to me from now.
All right, you know what? We thank you for taking on that undertaking of being a coach for at-risk youth. We appreciate people like you, man. We need more people like you in this world to keep these kids out of the streets. The way things are going on right now.
No doubt.
We need more coaches. You got a fan out there, Zay Flattery says, greatest coach of all time. I don't know if Dave, yeah, that's one of your boxes. I don't know if Dave's going to dispute that. But let's get into it. We got a short video we want to show you guys. If you're tuning in, Dave is going to talk about. Dave, take it away. Tell us what you're going to show us in the video.
Okay, the uppercut. All right, so excuse my screen. This is what I got for the uppercut right now, and let's play it.
Was that Bruce Lee?
Pretty much. Dressed in black, except for the socks.
Nice.
Okay. I'll get back to the explanation part later. But the uppercut, Joe, is that like a nightmare punch? Or is that an exotic punch? What kind of punch is the uppercut?
Uppercut is it's a dislodging punch to me. A punch coming straight at you, hitting you horizontally, has a certain amount of power, but punches that come up or punches that come down are very, very unsettling. An uppercut is brutal. You're getting hit underneath the chin, under the nose. It could do a lot more damage than other shots. It's a sneaky shot, and it's not an easy one to get away with if you're not good at it.
Absolutely. And then one thing about the uppercut is that, a lot of people don't know how to throw it. And then also, like whenever you get hit with an uppercut, like from sparring and stuff, you usually don't see it. So it can be a very disjarring punch, as you just said.
Yeah.
And there's not many people that actually coach it. Usually you just try to work on body work and stuff. So the uppercut can get confusing about it. But,
Well, when it comes, 100%, the sport is wrapped around range. Without range, or proper range, nothing works. So the problem with an uppercut is a lot of people throw it from too far out or sometimes too close. And that's where you can get into trouble. But if you know what to do and you know how to set the shot up and hide it in your movement, especially from the outside, it's deadly. You could really do damage to guys. Yep.
Okay, so I got when you got the screen, we got some pros doing uppercuts. Let me know when, George.
Yeah, we're ready. Go for it.
Here we go.
I got to put on my glasses to see this little screen here.
There we go. All right, first up, Chronicles of Riddick. Riddick Bowe is an uppercut guy. Riddick Bowe is in the white over here, and we're just going to watch him. He's famous for the right uppercut, but on this clip, he's got a lot of left uppercuts in this. So I don't even know who he's fighting here, but he's coming forward, and one of Riddick Bowe's
Ferguson.
Okay, now one of Riddick Bowe's punches is the overhand right. He's famous for the overhand right, yep. And I think the way he throws it goes hand in hand with this right uppercut. Well, anybody who throws an overhand right, you got to have something accompany usually a left hook to the body or a left uppercut and a right uppercut, because that gets the guy not sure of where you're coming from. So let's take a quick look at that. Here's Bowe's overhand right.
Oh, that's Michael Dokes. Sorry.
Dokes, that's right. Dokes, yep. Right. So here's Bowe.
Right.
He's coming under with his left and over with his right.
Yep. And they see the difference in the height of the shoulders. He's doing it right because when he's throwing that right hand, he's dropping his left shoulder, and that puts him right in position to come back up underneath with his left uppercut.
Right. And you're going to see just one or two right uppercuts as well, because when you're throwing the overhand right, it's great. It's great to have. All
right, let's take a look at the exchange here and see how Holyfield is beating.
Okay, now Holyfield and Bowe, great trilogy rather, right? But Holyfield throws an uppercut, and the way Holyfield throws an uppercut, he throws it to me like he understands that you have to throw the punch, but it's not his punch. Whereas Bowe throws the punch as it is his punch. Is that right to say? Am I saying it right, Joe?
Well, both guys are very adept at throwing punches on the inside. And I'll say this, Riddick Bowe, for as big as he was very, very good at fighting on the inside. Usually big guys, they fight tall. He didn't care. He'd get right in the trenches with you, and he'd lift up his shots on you, bang your body. Holyfield was really he used his uppercuts, but I got you. Not like him, not like Bowe. And now let me go back to Bowe now with his punches. But Bowe always kept his left shoulder forward. Holyfield would square up a lot too, just like Tyson, and that's what made Tyson's uppercuts savage, because he squared up. You didn't know which side they were coming from.
Absolutely. So let's take a look, and in this segment I got here, they're gonna exchange a lot of uppercuts. I might have to replay it a couple times, but let's take a look.
Go to the punch early in this fight.
That was Holyfield throwing uppercut, missing. And
lead is Holyfield, the champion. Not only that,
Holyfield got in an uppercut.
And look, you see there's Holyfield walking in, pushing his right foot forward.
Right. Yeah. And Holyfield, we have to say, on inside, fights with his head a lot.
Yeah, well, he was elbows and heads, yeah.
Yeah,
which I'm
all
all for. I like, not more than one person called me a dirty fighter. So.
All right, good. Mike Tyson blamed Holyfield for doing that before he bit him.
That's right.
Mike was a dirty fighter too. So.
Right.
Right hand over the top by Bowe landed.
Now you just see every time Holyfield throws an uppercut in this little sequence. I'm gonna pull it back. There's his uppercut. Holyfield's gonna throw an uppercut. Bowe's gonna throw one right back. Let's see if we can see that.
Right
Bang. Right hand by Holyfield.
You see how he snuck
Bang.
it past his hand, though? That's where the parrying on the inside. On the inside, it's a different game. It's a sneaky game because you can hide a guy's vision by putting your glove in his face or parrying him. So it's just a shoulder move. All it takes to guide that shot right under his neck.
Absolutely.
And Holyfield got an uppercut in.
Here we go again.
And the left hook for Holyfield.
Why should he bump into this big guy and go why should he?
Boom.
He pushed his hand out of the way.
Left hook by Holyfield. It's the second one.
There's another couple of nasty uppercuts traded over there, but they go in with Holyfield. They go in conjunction with this left hook. With Bo, he's actually that's one of his main punches, the uppercut.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yep.
It's the right uppercut. Body punch by Holyfield, and a good one.
I think those left hooks to the body by Evander Holyfield may be the most telling blows in the whole.
Left uppercut by Holyfield.
Yep.
Boom.
There comes the right uppercut again. Yep.
Right, and look at how smooth Riddick Bowe did this, because Holyfield is going to come with a couple of hard punches. You're going to see Riddick Bowe do like a little bit of a rollback and then come right back with the right uppercut. Let's see that real quick.
Left hook by Bowe, 2 of them.
Here's Holyfield, and you saw the rollback.
Yep.
I mean, it's
you watch, you'll see Bowe lift his left shoulder, and then as he turns, he guards himself, and then he opens up the shot when he puts his right shoulder forward, right across the center line, and clips him right under the chin.
All right, here it is right now. Here's Bowe lifting up his left shoulder right there.
There it is, yep.
He's trying to roll back, and he's going to come right back with an uppercut right here. Bang.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Textbook.
When Riddick Bowe knocks out our couple.
Okay, now
Elijah Tillery.
What's this guy's name?
Elijah Tillery. This is the guy that
Right, Elijah Tillery.
Yeah.
All right. So,
I met him in Canada. He's a whack job. Crazy.
all right. That's
Sorry,
what I wanted to
Elijah.
know. Do you know who this is? Because you know what's coming. You know what's coming. So let's take a look at Bowe and Elijah Tillery right here, and then what happens. So if you look at Bowe, I like people who do this. If you're going to throw an uppercut, you vary your right hand. So he's coming over. He's coming to the side. He's going to come. Watch it again. Here he is coming over to the side, and then he'll be looking to come under. And there's the under. He missed, and it gets a little crazy. His right uppercut is definitely. You saw it right there. It's married to the overhand right. And he got the uppercut. And then
conclusion to round number 1. Carl Milliken, the referee, they go at it again.
Here they come.
Several seconds ago, it seemed like a long round.
All right, there's the bell.
Yep.
Oh my
What
God.
the heck is happening here, Joe? Joe,
He's
it's you when you were young.
and that's his manager, Rock Newman, pulling him out of the ring by his neck.
It became a street fight.
See that? The guy grabbed him by his
Okay.
neck? That was his manager. That was Bo's
In the
manager.
ring at the end of round number 1.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Off the apron, breaking
That's
down.
nice.
I
Rock Newman.
look at this nonsense. All right, so let me just stop. Let me stop sharing for a second here, George. So all right, I'm so glad that Joe actually knew this fight, Elijah Tillery. They had a rematch, and what do you know anything about Elijah Tillery? I just know he was a sparring partner.
Well, and when
Wow.
when he was on his way up, he looked, physically like Muhammad Ali. So he had a little bit of, but people will kind of follow him like that. He was acting like him a little bit, and listen, man. Any guy that gets in there and puts them gloves on it, I give him props. And he had a bunch of fights. He fought some tough guys, and he could fight. He just obviously didn't have the temperament. Even a dirty fighter would never kick. And I go right back to what you said before about Tyson. Fighting dirty is part of boxing. Biting is not part of boxing.
Right.
Fritzy Zivic, Sandy Saddler rolling over in their graves watching him bite that man twice. That's crazy.
Like
Tillery kicked him. Come on, there's no place for that.
Interestingly enough, they interviewed Evander just like about maybe a couple months ago, and he said he wanted to bite Tyson back. He actually said he wanted to bite him back, but his corner told him, "No, don't do it, man. Just stay the course, man. You're gonna get him."
Crazy.
And he said he's glad he didn't, because that would have just killed the sport altogether, and it kind of discredited Tyson a little bit. But we know the outcome of that. Just real quick, I just want to give a shout out real quick to Peter Latorre. He says Joe's a great man and coach, the greatest, and Westbury.
Another one of my boxes.
Yeah, another one of your box. Okay. So also Zay Flattery also mentioned about a la Buster Douglas, Evander Holyfield. He mentioned that fight, that tape that you just showed, Dave. I mean, that was like the whole fight was just uppercuts. It's just crazy.
Oh, God, that inside fighting when you have somebody who knows how to use uppercuts, and I like it. Joe was talking about squaring up and how people throw uppercuts. I like the Tyson uppercut, and some guys do it. I'm going to show it where I don't really have a good feel for this, but they turn almost sideways. They bring their left shoulder back, and and you shoot the uppercut from a different angle so that it comes through the gloves. Because if you square up and you shoot it straight up like Holyfield was doing, you miss sometimes because you're not getting it in between the gloves. So sometimes you have to turn your body to shoot it that way to get that angle. And
boxing's improv, man. Everything changes. There's no set movement. So, sometimes you have to get your shots off any way you can.
Absolutely.
On Buster Douglas. So Buster Douglas loses his title to Evander Holyfield by throwing a right uppercut from the outside. And he paid the price for that. If you look back to how Douglas got that title, the punch that he hurt Tyson with was a right uppercut. He almost twisted his neck off. And then he finished him with a left hand because he attacked him as a southpaw. So
right.
Shift right there. Yeah, in that fight as a final. And Tyson was great at shifting because he would switch to southpaw. He would step in with his punches, throw his right uppercut. As he threw his right uppercut, his left leg he would allow it to lift up and shift behind him, and then he would finish with a right to the ribs and a right straight up.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was the best at it.
Now, I want to ask a question to you guys. I want to ask what muscle, and I know I'm going to ask you a question because I'm curious about this. What muscle would you have to work on to make a successful uppercut? Because I think it's lower body is what makes that punch so powerful.
It really depends on the boxer, because everything, when it comes down to the power of the punch, the trajectory of the punch, how you throw it, comes down to technique. If you don't have good base, good fundamentals, it doesn't matter how strong you are, you're not going to be able to land the shot. So even skinny guys, I mean, look at like Alexis Arguello, he was almost on the slow side for a boxer, and he'd land that right uppercut to the ribs and a right uppercut to the head, right hand over the top in one motion. He'd throw 3 punches and you couldn't block it. So it's not just the power, it's not just the speed, it's the fundamentals and the techniques that get the punch home. I mean, you don't have to be strong to land hard punches. You just have to be kinetically responsible or mechanically responsible, fundamentally responsible.
I like that. Great answer. Yep. All right, so let's so give me the screen again, George, and I'm gonna go back to some more pros. Hopefully I got this. Oh, I
gotta put on my spectacles again.
All right, here we go. All right, let's go with Rocky Marciano.
Yes.
There you go.
Legend.
My man, I love Rocky. I had a whole wall dedicated to him.
That's because you're Italian, Joe. That's what you're Italian.
Biased. Are you saying he's biased?
There's no choice in that.
He says a little bit. Okay.
That's Joe Walcott backing up against the ropes.
There you go.
Okay, so let's take a look. This is their second fight. Marciano is in white trunks coming forward, and in these old time photos, a lot of flashes. So flashes will blind us, but still, let's go.
Jersey Joe feinting, an overhand right missed. Jersey Joe holding on momentarily.
And let's talk about that for a second. Just like I said with Riddick Bowe, Rocky Marciano loved to throw the overhand right.
Yep.
He not just so, right. His Suzuki, absolutely.
Yep.
And at the variant, he threw uppercuts, but he threw nasty uppercuts.
Separated once again. first round of the scheduled 15-rounder. Marciano pouring in. Good left-handed. Oh, there we go!
Oh,
Okay, watch that
Look how
again.
low his right shoulder is. Right
Oh,
shoulder's down.
Now,
Oof.
bang. Do you see?
oh,
So we're talking about kinetic movement here, Joe. Is that what we're talking about?
Yep, exactly. That's power.
devastating
power.
power. Devastating power.
Yep.
Yeah, that was some punch.
All
right. Now Marciano again is in the white trunks. He's coming forward. I don't know who he's fighting, but
Roland Lastaza.
there we go.
Oh,
There we go. I got I don't need a dictionary or Google. I got Joe.
Go to Joe.
Professional fight in a row when he lost to Marciano in their first bout, and he still has a brilliant 54-3 one-loss record.
Right shoulder, lower, and
Dang. That's an uppercut.
Lastaza was no kid either.
No.
He was a good fighter. They fought twice.
He's almost completely out.
All right. So I just want to say that was a lot of uppercut and overhand right Susie Q's as you
Big power. Yeah, big power.
big power. Unbelievable. But I like that. I like people who could vary their right hand. I think Deontay Wilder, who loves throwing his overhand right, would be good. It would be good for him to throw some right uppercuts, so they don't just sit on the right and just duck all the time. You know,
It'd be good for him to listen to Mark Breland a little bit more and not throw his punches like a schoolyard bully.
Yeah,
He's got so much power and talent. He's just not using it. This guy's tough as anybody. You got to give the guy credit. I love an American fighter winning the world heavyweight title. I'd do anything to have him back.
Yeah.
A lot of people call him a one-trick pony, but I mean, this guy still he actually fought and knocked out most of his opponents with that one punch.
He can punch, that's for sure.
100%. He's got one of the hardest punches I think in boxing ever in the history of boxing. He can
hit, man. That's for sure. He's the type of guy who could be sitting down and poke you, and you're gonna fall on your ass.
Oh, absolutely,
backside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back. Rocky Marciano some more. This is him against Ezra Charles.
Yep.
And look, he's coming. And this is what I mean. You can't duck down with him. If you duck down with him, he's beating on him. You're gonna get
chopping you up. Yep.
Yeah.
Just
right.
Keep chopping you down too. So Marciano's trainer was a guy named Charlie Goldman, who was a bantamweight and was a pretty damn good fighter in his own right. And he showed Rocky Marciano how to fight like a little guy, not like a 180-pound guy. And that's why Marciano's dynamics were different from other heavyweights. He fought like a bantamweight. He fought like a smaller guy because that's who taught him.
But you know what? In the heavyweight division, even back then, he was a smaller guy.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He was a smaller guy. He fought
a cruiserweight now. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you go, I don't know if you can link it, but if you want to go to an uppercut, the second time that Joe Walcott fought Ezra Charles, he did the walk. He walked right to Ezra Charles. Yeah, he walked. Absolutely. He stepped across the ring, left foot forward, left uppercut. Fight's over.
That was a great setup. But that
George Foreman did the same thing to Jerry Cooney. Walked out, took 3 steps, left foot forward, knocked him out.
Absolutely. I don't remember the one with Jerry Cooney, but definitely the one with Jersey Joe Walker.
Yeah.
Jersey Joe is like, it's a shame we don't have more film of him because he did was unbelievable. One of my favorite just technicians of all time. You know,
great footwork. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, let's take a look at Mayweather a little bit. This is a fight with him and Cotto, and
another great
I have it on silence. All right, so now let's just take a look at Mayweather. Now Mayweather he's an eel. He's slippery.
Yeah.
So here you are. You got Mayweather against the ropes, and Cotto's an aggressive guy, and you think that Cotto will be able to do it, but Mayweather is going to move. He's going to dip to the right. He's going to dip to the left, and he's setting up uppercuts the whole time. You just don't know where Mayweather's come from. Let's watch it, and we're going to call it.
Yeah.
So now you got Mayweather dipping to the right, and he throws a right uppercut. What people don't know is that Mayweather will also dip to his left and throw a left uppercut. Let's
Absolutely, yeah.
Take a look. So here he is. He's on one side.
It's hidden too.
Yeah, and you're not quite sure what to do. Like, you really need to throw an overhand right against Mayweather when he's like that, but he's playing around with you. Okay, so now just take a look. All of a sudden, you're gonna see left uppercuts from this. Good right hand by Mayweather, and Cotto is a little bit. He's a little bit gun shy right now.
Yeah, because it's hard to. He can't time him. He can't get his feet set because Mayweather just keeps sliding to his right on the ropes and rolling his shoulders. So he's just not able to find him.
Right,
and he's not dumb enough to let his hands go because he knows he's going to get caught.
Absolutely. So now you see Cotto here trying to do pretty much like a Holyfield type of move. Put your head in there. Get square up, try to pin Mayweather on the ropes so that you can let your punches go. So let's see how that works out. So now he's trying to push him on the ropes. And Mayweather is strong enough to keep, not get pancaked on the ropes.
Yeah.
And you see Mayweather. Elbow, right. And you can see that left uppercut start working its way in. Now you see what Mayweather did. It's almost like he turned his stance. He still has his legs the same, but he turned his stance.
Yep. His right shoulder's more of a lead. Yeah.
Right. So, and he's throwing left uppercuts from here. Right. Now he's back to a right stance. Now he's left. He's actually almost switching stances there. There it is again.
And you watch the level. Watch the level of the thing with Mayweather, besides the fact that he's a boxing genius, is watch as simple as it is his fundamentals are so sound. He was taught so well. Watch how he changes the levels of his shoulders. Left shoulder's low, right shoulder's low. He just flip-flops his head and his shoulders from one side to the other, and he just opens up. And then Cotto just can't keep up. He's always one step, two steps behind him.
Absolutely. So let's see. So Cotto right here, it looks like he's in a good stance. Cotto's about ready to let his hands go. We're just going to replay that again. And look what Mayweather does. He just pops himself. He goes to the right, baits him in, and now he pops himself to the left.
And he's circling to his right against the guy with a big left hook. It's crazy. He knows he can't hit him.
Absolutely. So now here, I just love this because it's dirty fighting. But what are you gonna do? Here, Mayweather is gonna put his head on Cotto's right shoulder, and Mayweather is grabbed his right arm.
Yeah, he's locked him.
Right. So now that's basically an arm lock there. And let's see what Cotto could do. Right.
Even the ref's on that side. He's smacking at him. He's going to let him do it.
Absolutely.
Head control. See that?
Right. And if we just see that, how frustrating that could be for a fighter. I'm going to just pull that back just a touch if I can. All right. Here you are. You're Cotto. You're trying to hit Mayweather. And Mayweather's hiding behind your head. Mayweather's hiding behind your own head as he's grabbing your arm so that you can't pull your arm back.
And playing you with a ref too.
My God!
I think that's Weeks, the referee. He's a good.
Yeah,
ref.
That's 20 Weeks. Yes, and I'm sorry, but they're all on Mayweather's payroll. This is.
That's for sure.
That's good, right.
Yeah. You don't want to lose that comp and that airfare over to Vegas every couple of months. So
right,
every 6 months.
And look, let's just watch right here. I mean, Cotto is smart enough not to get hit by this uppercut, but let's watch Mayweather set this up. I'm gonna try to play by play. All right, Mayweather's got the space. Cotto was square for a second, and then I'm sure he's gonna have to set up. So now Cotto's got to make up ground, and Mayweather's setting his feet. This is what we're talking about, Joe. That you just said. He's 1 or 2 steps ahead.
Yep.
Right. Now here, Cotto's still coming in straight, and Mayweather looks like he's going to square up against him.
And he knows just where the ropes are.
Right. So if he missed him with this left uppercut, but if Cotto stepped into this, it would have hurt bad. But it doesn't matter. Mayweather's backing up with the right hand, which does hit, right? And then right back into his Philly shell. And now he's just playing games with Cotto. Now, Cotto, right here, you would think he would come, but Mayweather's moving.
Yeah, he keeps moving to his right, and it's so he's not running, he's just shuffling to his right. He's so smart with his, again, it goes back to range. Range is everything. That's as far as I'm concerned, it's the most telling aspect of the sport. If you can control the range and manage it, you're a king. And
absolutely.
And Cotto was no slouch either. Cotto's a
no slouch
elite fighter, a world-class elite fighter. And yeah, he just Mayweather, he had a knack for making guys look ordinary.
Yeah, look, it's just he's going to the right, he's going to the left, he's slipping over, throwing right hands, uppercuts. And this is how you mix in uppercuts with your fights. And now he won't even let you go back. Now this guy, Chris Eubank Jr., what I did is I caught some of his sparring over here.
Yeah.
Some of his sparring because George, I don't want us to get copyright strikes.
Yeah, we got to be careful with those. We probably had a couple already with the Mayweather stuff. But before we go into that, Dave, I want to say something about Mayweather. I want to ask Joe a question, and I'll ask you also, Coach Dave. Will there ever be another Floyd Mayweather? And can Floyd be a successful coach? That's my question. We'll start with you, Joe.
I think he's unique in a lot of ways because of his wide range of talents. The guy could do everything. And, I'm not a big fan of his as a person, but it's not relevant. As a boxer, as a fighter, he's top of the food chain. That doesn't mean that he could be a good coach. If you look at his father, and uncles, but his father especially was a world-class fighter, but never got to the championship level, and was nowhere near as good as his son. And look at the coach he was. I mean, his father he's still coaching. I mean, that guy's amazing. So will there be another Mayweather? I don't think he's crazy unique as far as his style and what he does. I just think his accomplishments and the way he went about it was unique. Whether you like him or not, he did his job, get hit without being hit. He picked his fights. And I don't want to even get into that, like, oh, he handpicked this and this guy and that, he lost to Castillo, whatever. He fought everybody. So a guy like that with that kind of talent, don't take nothing away from him.
All right, and same thing for you, Coach Dave. Do you think that he'll be a great coach, or?
I think he's going to be a great coach, because he picks, just like he picks his referees, he's going to pick the fighters he coaches, and he's working with Devin Haney now. Devin Haney is already made, and they're on a different level. So the kind of people that Mayweather is going to pick, and he's going to show face with, they're already going to be good. They're already going to be actually great. So people on that level are going to pick up from Floyd. I don't think Floyd can take regular fighters. I don't think he has the patience to start from scratch with the point. So yeah, Floyd is going to have a successful career. And then plus, if you're a great fighter, why wouldn't you want Floyd to be in your corner? Yeah. You want that money, and he knows how to make it. He's shown that he knows how to make it, and him in the corner makes you relevant.
Yep.
All right, I agree. Good answers. All right, so we're going to go now. We're going to move over to Chris Eubanks, and you want to show a video on that, Dave?
All right. Well, it's still the same video. I knew I had a long video, and because the uppercut is such a weird punch, so let's go with Chris.
All right. And by the way, if you want to share this, if you're tuning into the show, please hit that share button. We appreciate that.
Okay, so here's Chris Eubank, and this is what I was talking about with that. So here's somebody. He's somebody who practices uppercuts. It's in his repertoire. You got to see it very quick.
From his father.
Look for the angle that he's throwing it out of. Okay, like right off the bat. There he goes to the side, and it's really interesting. He almost turns sideways as if he's fighting somebody to his left. Right. And we're gonna watch him beat up on some sparring partners. You see the way he turns, just just really goes for that angle. All right, Joe, I got to ask you, have you ever trained anybody the right uppercut in this way, in this manner?
Everybody that I teach learns the punches that I feel like I could get away with that person. In other words, I'm not going to teach that punch to somebody at a a lower amateur level, but my more advanced guys, absolutely. That's a right uppercut that comes flat and across. In other words, you're not standing in front of the guy. He's on your left shoulder and he's moving away, and you shoot the punch flat across the chest. So I mean, that's a punch that you have to drill with mitts and reaction drills. But it comes down to the same thing I said before. If the person's not capable of doing it at that level, whatever their level is at that time, it's not worth trying to show it to them. You have to start. Fundamentals are the base, but to the point, if I got a guy that knows what he's doing, and most of my guys do, they're learning that shot, and we work on uppercuts. Absolutely.
Okay, so here we go. Let's watch Chris Eubank. Very, very interesting.
Stop it.
That's his father in the background yelling at him.
Yeah. He's saying stop it for whatever reason. and then running around. And here's Chris Eubank. So I like this because I'm going to show him he's backing up, and now he's coming forward. You're going to see him start setting up these punches. Left hook, left uppercut.
Left uppercut, yeah.
Left hook,
he's
left
disguising it. He's going to the body, and he's going up. So his left shoulder's low. The guy doesn't know where the punch is going. That's
the Tyson right hand, right hook, right uppercut. Yep. But now Chris Eubank is doing the same combo, but he's doing it from the other side. Let's watch that again.
Much easier to hide when you're throwing it with your lead hand.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Nice.
Yeah.
And then he follows up with like a zillion right uppercuts.
Yeah, and this guy's standing right in front of him.
Right.
That guy seems a little heavier than Chris Eubanks. He seems like it's a different weight class.
Well, you know what?
He's at a different level of boxing too, because a better boxer is not going to sit there and eat.
Right.
Right. And that's obviously a training partner, and you want you have different training partners for different things. A lot of times you want to bring in heavier guys so that your guy could practice his power punches without killing them. Jared Hurd is also pretty interesting, and I had to pick old fights. This is his first fight. I got some clip of his first fight ever, and bang! It's hard to see, but he knocked him out with the right uppercut.
That looked like it was to the body. That looked like it was to the body. Do that again.
Yeah,
the referee was in front, so you can't really see it. But I got a little bit more of Jared. Also, he just him hitting the heavy bag is pretty interesting. But let's go to some sparring that I got of him, and this is my last uppercut guy. And Jared Hurd is he's 100% a big guy who's an inside fighter. He likes a little bit of like a Philly shell type thing almost, but he likes going to his right. And he's a right uppercut guy for sure. And
he's a real rough and strong young man too. I mean, he's a beast. I don't think he's been in a bad fight yet.
No, and if you just look at it, Jared Hurd is the one in blue, by the way.
Yep.
And you see that nasty right uppercut. It's part of his repertoire. It's not like, he throws a right uppercut because he sees it. He sets it up. There it is underneath.
He's setting traps. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at him shove his left his shoulder forward, giving him space to come in with that right uppercut. And he's looking for it at all times. And he throws a nasty right uppercut. And when he's wearing the professional gloves, man, those punches gotta hurt.
Yeah, they're like I said, they're disjointing. They're very, very they're powerful, and they come in a direction where the body's not capable of really absorbing the blow. If you don't know how to roll with an uppercut or tuck your chin in and turn, you get caught clean with an uppercut, you could really get hurt. I don't care if you got a good mouthpiece, and you get hit on the nose just right, and it doesn't matter if you're cut or not. It changes the way you breathe. Right.
Now let's talk about heavy-handedness. This also helps if you're uppercut. I mean, Riddick Bowe, big guy. Jared Hurd,
George Foreman.
Right. But these are guys with. I'm assuming that Jarrett Hurt's hands have got to be huge. You know, I'm just making an assumption, and no matter what, I mean, he hits you with these little. It looks like he's hitting you with 6-inch, 3-inch punches on the inside, and he's lumping these guys up with the uppercuts. And he's just very, very nasty. That's one of the things, the boxing intangibles that people can't see, but they can see the effect of a heavy-handed person.
Yep. A guy like that. Listen, if you have power, you can get away with things that a guy that doesn't have power can't. So just because of the fear factor, there's retribution, there's a penalty to pay. So you know, guys like Julian Jackson, you know, he could another guy just numbing power. He was able to defensively make mistakes because guys didn't want to be close to him because God forbid you made a mistake, you paid for it with one punch. You know? And if it was an uppercut, yeah, even more so, you know. So
yeah, well, you didn't see it.
Power is definitely part of the equation when it comes to punching in using uppercuts as power punches. You know, they could just be tapping shots. You know, you watch, you know, go back to the old guys like Henry Armstrong would throw 100 punches around back in the day, and he chopped constantly. Right. And then a guy who they fought each other, Sugar Ray Robinson, who fought Armstrong when he was pretty much used up and was nice to him, didn't try to kill him. Robinson would knock you cold with his uppercuts. You'd never see them coming. So he had
the bolo punch, the bolo.
Oh yeah, that was what he got from Kid Gavilan. He learned that from Kid Gavilan, who was basically the inventor, so to speak. But listen, the fast. So if you got speed and you could hide it in your speed and your, you know, blend it in with your moves and your feints, nobody sees it. Then it's just as powerful as a guy who could bang. And then a guy like George Foreman or Deontay Wilder, you could see the punch coming, roll with it, and you're going to sleep anyway. If it's an uppercut, you're getting hurt. You know, there's damage. It changes the way you breathe. It changes the way you bite on your mouthpiece.
Okay. All right. Let's go to head movement real quick, George, because I know it's getting a little bit late.
Let's put it on
head movement. All right. So I'm gonna break down head movement. You know, a lot of people don't understand.
It's simple and complicated at the same time. All right. So let's get right into it. All right. First and most important thing is your front foot stance, your rear foot stance. Okay. And where your head is. So the fact of the matter is, you have to be able to pull back from a front foot to rear foot stance as you're boxing. Okay. What does that do? It gives you anywhere from 6 inches to over a foot of movement to get in and out of range. Okay. The other thing is understanding on your front foot that you're going to make these type of moves. You have to make, those are inside moves, all right? So this is kind of side, that could be from anywhere. But once you start going deep, those are inside moves, okay? Front foot, inside moves. If you make front foot inside moves, that means that you're threatening to punch, you know, as you're making these moves, okay? You can't make those moves on the outside. You can't be on the outside. See, numerous times people get beat up because they make these moves. The guys on the outside watching them, and when they come up, he goes, think, and hits him right in the face, okay? Why? You have to disappear with those front foot moves. In other words, I'm here, I got to get out of the way of somebody, and I can't get out of the way from close. Rear foot moves or regular stance moves, you could go here, and a right side dip. A right side dip is very important because this is the furthest you get away from your opponent and still be in a stance, all right? So boom, boom, those are good. Slip the jab, slip the right hand. So if it's a 1-2, it looks like this. And then your hand should be up here. All right, so that's the right side dip. And then you really can't do it to that side unless you shift, but that's fancy. Don't worry about that. So you got front foot and rear foot, and also on the rear foot you have rear back, matrix type moves. Those mostly for taller people. I never used that in my life, okay? But you can use these type of moves, especially if you're tall, okay? And then after you do this, there's a check to this. The check is, as you're making these moves, can you make these moves?
All right, so let me keep going.
Okay?
I know you're going.
These are things that you have to check. Yes, they're done in conjunction. You have to be in balance. You have to be able to throw a punch. And you have to know where you are, whether you're on your front foot, back foot, fighting on the inside, fighting on the outside. Okay? Head moves. Smoke and talk. Coach's corner.
All right, let's go. Let's go right to the pros. So I just so Joe, we're talking about setting up punches both with head movement and also setting up punches using defense. So head movement on defense and head movement on offense. Let's look at Whitaker and Chavez, who had two different things. So we're probably gonna have to watch this a couple times, but here we go. Now,
Two
Whitaker,
great fighters.
Two great fighters, right? And Whitaker was fast, but Chavez was not slow, and he had great footman.
He was amazing. Both of them were amazing.
So here's Chavez walking in, and Whitaker is going to duck simply to his left, throwing jabs. And look at Chavez. Chavez is no slouch. He's ducking punches too.
Yeah,
he's setting up. I just love. Do you see what kind of head movement?
Yeah, Whitaker's off the charts. He's top 5 greatest defensive fighters on the planet that ever lived, and I put him number 1 or number 2. For me, there's the top 3 always, but top 5 is hard to get to. He's number 1 and number 2, best defensive fighter that ever lived.
Absolutely. So you saw him. He dipped his head to the left. He put his feet back, and then he spun off to the right, which is like almost impossible.
Yeah, like without even thinking, backing up. Look at walking as he's backing up with this savage in front of him.
Right.
Calm as a cucumber.
And he's throwing jabs. And look at Chavez too. Now Chavez, this is something that a lot of people don't understand. That how hard it is to punch while you're moving.
Yeah. Nobody did it better than Whitaker. He could back up and throw jabs better than guys going forward. He was amazing. And then off balance, he landed twice.
Right. Now let me just take a look at this, because this is an unbelievable sequence. I have this in slow motion. All right, so Whitaker is going to slip a jab, and then he's going to throw a 1-2, and Chavez is going to slip them both. Let's take a look at this. Okay, that's a slip, that's a parry, that's a slip, and look at Chavez being defensively responsible on how he puts his head there.
Right shoulder forward as he's moving. Yeah, he's a shifter too, man. Beautiful. I got to see them both fight in person, and they were there you go, Nicolini Loesch. That right there, he's number 1 and number 2 as a defensive guy.
All right, now he's Italian, isn't he?
He's actually I think he was from Spain. I don't think he was Italian, but he lived in Italy. Yeah, a lot of people mistake him for Italian, but
what the heck is that on his eye? Did this
back then you were allowed. There was a time you were allowed to put tape on eyes. There was areas where you were allowed to. There was a time period when you could stitch a guy between rounds. He had so much scar tissue and cauliflower ears, they would literally put like a paste, like new skin, over his eyes to hold him together. And he was a defensive fighter. Imagine that.
There you go. So
180 fights, I think he had, something like that. So
yeah, some insane number. At this fight here, I think he was like 117-4 or something like that. Some crazy. Let's this is a real treat for people who've never seen him.
The master.
Right.
He's amazing.
And the reason I showed that is because just in case you have let me pull that back a little bit. Just in case you haven't seen it, he's not the only one to keep, Mayweather's not the only one to keep his front hand down. And, this is in the 70s, I think.
This is actually late 60s.
Okay.
Yep.
So I know he was around the late 60s. Now,
yeah, it could be 1970. Yeah.
Yeah.
He fought a long time. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure who the opponent is.
Yeah, and this is definitely in the 60s. And look at Nicolini Loesch, and he's the one with both hands up. And just look at how calm and relaxed he is as he's parrying and slipping punches. And look at his head movement. It's really interesting. Look at this. He's toying with the guy.
Yeah, and he dropped his hands. He do everything. He was amazing. Amazing. And you look too, it's crazy, that no advertisements on the carpet, on the canvas, that no corner cushions, turnbuckles, 3 ropes.
Do you
rolling
think
with the punches? You're just
absolutely
rolling his head out. Yep.
Look at that little turn-away slip.
What a great time to be a fighter.
I gotta show this again. Look at him. He's looking at him, and then whoops. Awesome. Unbelievable.
Yep. Look away.
I didn't touch
Drops
him.
his hand.
Didn't touch him at all.
Yes.
Nope.
Now this is him again. Just watch. Just look at that. That looked a little Mayweather.
What that look like?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't just him. Everybody thinks he invented it. George Benton is rolling over in his grave too. Georgie Benton was doing that. So was Archie Moore back in the 50s.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's wow.
No, I got to ask you something, Dave. Can you pause it for a second?
Sure.
Joe, let me ask you a question. Did you use any of this old footage to train any of the guys that you're training?
I watch probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours of boxing every day. I don't watch regular TV. And if you ask any one of my boxers, you go on their phone, there's hundreds of films. I send almost, I'd say once a week. And when I'm on the spot, I'm sending them every day. I watch fights every day. I don't watch TV.
I mean, you're like the encyclopedia of boxing.
I used to be
helping me out a lot. This is helping me out a lot.
I don't know if you noticed. I've been quiet. I just been quiet because I'm in awe because every time you used to comment on our shows, I'm like, man, who is this guy? And then when I finally got to meet you, I was like, oh my God, this guy is incredible.
Oh,
so why isn't my picture on the top then? Why are you up on top?
Hey, I'm directing the show, buddy. It's our show. Let me give a couple of shout outs real quick. First off, LA Awnings, and I think that might be Long Island Awnings.
That's my son's business. That's my son's company. Bill,
and is that your grandson or something? Because he says, good night, Poppy Joe.
That's what my grandkids call me, Poppy Joe. They're all watching.
Okay, so he says good night. I guess it was past their bedtime, and then we want to give another shout out to another great coach, and one of the coaches that I admire as well, Michael Vargas. He's on here tonight. Also, he says,
coach.
Yeah, he says, hey guys, great job, Coach Joe. Awesome guy, coach, and advisor. And then we want to give a shout out also to Brian McCarthy. Brian, thanks for tuning in as well. Excellent, helpful analysis. Show of the week every week. Hey, listen, that's incredible. Thank you so much. I mean, we feel honored to be called the show of the week every week. That's huge. That says a lot about
tremendous.
It really says a lot about you guys that are tuning in, and it really speaks to me with 2 great coaches tonight. I just get to why I'm just happy and I'm blessed to be able to be in the presence right now of Coach Dave and Coach Joe. I appreciate these guys for tuning in, and putting on this show every week. So yeah, Brian says he's incredible. And then Peter Lattori, he says Joe's not lying. Our team group chats get boxing videos almost every day.
Yep. What is the story from Pete Lattori? Joe, it's Gadigian video, number 434 of the week.
But that's important. I mean, how is it? Are really coaches doing that, Joe, or is that something that you and your team developed, for your guys? Is that something that you see with other? Where did you pick that up?
Like I said, I don't really watch regular TV. I just like watching boxing. It's the only thing I enjoy watching, and it's more than just watching. It's the studying portion of it. But just like anything else that you learn.
But this is what Coach's Corner is about. Yes.
Yeah. Listen, every single thing in your life comes from what you see. You can hear and you can learn by hearing things. But to do a sport, it's what you're seeing, not what you're hearing. So you learn by visual, right? So visual, it's just like reading. You don't learn a subject until you read it. You use your eyes to read it. So you could read a film the same way you read words. You learn by looking. Dogs learn how to play with other dogs by watching the other dogs do it, and then they get involved, right? Everything starts by vision. And the best athletes have the best visual acuity, right? The batter that can see the ball coming at 100 miles an hour and count the laces hits the ball out of the park. So if you're not watching, you're not learning. That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
It's the same thing as you doing something for your fighter and that you're doing it in front of them. You're showing them. So what better way to study than to watch a film?
And so then that validates the Coach's Corner, because that's
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So let me go back. Am I up?
Yes, you're up. Go.
Okay, let's go. So we're still with Nikolai here, Loach, and he's look at it. He's against the ropes, by the way.
And he don't care. He'll just sit right there. He'll change levels. He'll roll his shoulders. He keeps his right hand right under his neck. His chin is in his shoulder. He's just tucked in.
All right. So with Loma, I'm gonna take a quick look at Loma right now, and this is what I see from the outside. Let me see if I can illustrate this. Hopefully, I can tell.
Lomachenko's on the with the blue and yellow shorts.
Yep, blue gloves. Yep.
All right. I cannot illustrate it. Okay, I thought I was going to be able to.
All right, big shout out real quick to half Gladiator and half Greek. Big shout out to you. Thanks for tuning in, man.
All right. So, all right. I'm definitely not going to illustrate this. All right, but what you're looking with Lomo is basically I'm looking at him and he's doing 3 different types of head movements, and I'm going to give him 4. One is just a slight dip to the left and a slight dip to the right, Mike Tyson-esque, if you want to say. And then what he does is he does a front foot where he comes all the way to his right as if he was going to throw a right hook to the body. So you're looking for that. I don't know. Can you see my cursor, George?
Yeah, you're telestrating. Look at you.
Yeah.
So this way, and then a deep in. So let's take a look at it. We'll try to break them down. Simple. See, there's one side. There's another side, and then you're going to also see him come in deep. Of course, this is mixed in with footwork, but I was expecting all this fancy stuff, and he's pretty much going to each side, and he's coming in hard every once in a while to his right side. And this is I believe Campbell, right?
I'm not sure who the opponent is actually.
Pretty sure it's Luke Campbell. I'm not 100%, but watch Loma. And he's basically using just three little moves, hands up, of course, and one side, other side, and then in deep. And that's the kind of stuff he uses.
He probes.
Say again?
He probes. He's constantly trying to make you react so he can set a trap. He's constantly making you react and keeping your mind busy. He never stops. He's like the bee at the barbecue.
Okay. So now I let it speed again. And if you watch it, see, this is in full speed. Yeah. So you watch it in short speed, but he's basically doing just a slight dip to his left, a slight dip to his right, and pretty much a deep dip on his right side. And when you're right in front of him, he will do a deep left side dip, a la like Mayweather would do a right side dip. So look at his head movement. It's pretty much almost simple, but with his foot movement and with his threatening the punches, it's really
his footwork is like it's masterclass, and he's completely improvisational. He's not thinking about what he's doing. Can flying with it. And that's boxing's like jazz. It's improv, and he is the master at it. I mean, this guy, he can get up off a bar stool and beat most of these guys in the world today.
Oh, absolutely. And then I just want to show that quick little dip. And now instead of just dipping and walking away, he's going to dip and throw a left hand. Let's just watch that for a second. Watch how he's setting up. He's setting all these moves. Now he's dipping, and all of a sudden, pop, right there.
Set the trap. Yep.
Which is really, really pretty. So
we're so lucky to have a guy like this and all these talented guys we get to watch. I just wish the sport would, and forget the COVID, just the promoters and everybody tying our hands and not being able to watch all these guys when they're coming up.
Absolutely.
To make, like when we were kids, come on, every day, Channel 7, Channel 4, Channel 2. There was 2 title fights on Channel 2, 2 on 4. Yep. You watched Ray Mancini when he had 4 fights coming up, and you got to know these guys. You learned about them. Now it's if the promoter thinks he can make some money, then he's going to let you know who the guy is. If they got no way to follow a guy anymore.
Well, that's why Dave and I we put on these shows. Believe it or not, especially when they're young, we catch them at the amateurs, and we want people to show you guys out there if you're watching, we actually look at some of our old stuff. Go to Smoker Talk, and you can even see smokertalk.com. If you go to our website, you can catch some of those fights. You'll see these amateurs as they develop. And we've been doing this for how many years now? 3 years, right, Dave?
Yeah.
3 years, and you can watch their career develop. So you see it from not really the genesis. It would be genesis on our part because we're showcasing them, but you can see them from, as a young boxer, and you could follow them up to the pros. We've had some of those young men, I don't want to call them kids and young women, but those young men that have become from an amateur, and you saw them on our show, now they're pros and they're fighting for match boxing. You can watch these guys. You see one tonight. You see Michael Vargas, his son, Alex Vargas is one of them. You saw him on our show as well, and you saw him develop. And now the guy's a pro. I think he got picked up by somebody. I'm not sure. I don't want to misquote anything. But Mike, if you're watching, if you want to put it up, who's he boxing with or who's managing him as well. But again, you could watch these guys. Talented. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Young guy. I think he's 24 years old. But you can watch them on our show as they develop, and then you can follow them, and we'll tell you where they are right now. We'll tell you. We'll let you know. So if you want to tune in, check us out on Smoker Talk. We appreciate you guys. I mean, we're over an hour now. We've been over an hour. Do we have a little bit more, Dave, or are we gonna?
No, that was it. I pretty much knew that Joe was going to talk a lot, and we were gonna. So I made the videos longer, 2 videos instead of 3 videos. I made them a little bit longer, and I put stops in them so that Joe could put some input. We actually welcome you to talk a lot. Probably first time ever. We want Joe talking a lot.
Yeah, I don't need no encouragement. So
there you go.
Especially when it's about boxing. Yeah.
Absolutely. We knew we were going to talk the talk, so that's what we went with today. But what do you think, Joe? I put it to you as a more experienced coach than myself. What do you think about our show? How we're picking things out? And
comment there. He said Scott Lopez says that he never shuts up.
Yeah. You know what though? See, if Scott was on this show, you need a bigger screen to fit his head.
Ah, there we go.
Scott's got a head like a globe. It looks like.
Oh my
God. What do you think about the format, show?
What's that? Sorry.
What do you think about the format in the show?
I love it. I besides the fact that I think you're both good people, you're gentlemen, and you love the sport. You guys know what you're talking about. So it's nice. And what I like, what you just said before, is important. Watching these kids from the amateur level. Amateur boxing used to be on TV almost as much as pro boxing. It was so important. So why it's not now? Because they can't make any money at it. Most of these promoters are they're event planners. They're not promoting boxers. They're trying to develop gates and money and not develop prize fighters. So you guys are at the base, like you said, and I think that's super important. I love it. I mean, you get to showcase amateur boxers in New York in the 5 boroughs. There's no place better on the planet. Nowhere.
Yeah, and to add to that, we've been to Canada, and we showcase some of the. You're going to see some Canadian boxers that Dave and I also got to meet that are tremendous boxers. And also we traveled a little bit. We went out to LA a little bit. And where else did we go?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Yeah, we got to see some Puerto Rico fights, and
been to the Bronx once or twice.
That's awesome. You guys are doing great, and I think more and more people are going to watch you. Just got to get out there. I love seeing you guys at the fights. That was the best thing you ever started. That's awesome.
All right, so we want to remind everybody, with COVID now, everything's been shut down, and I want to hit this point before we actually tune off. Is that with COVID, we haven't been able to go on with the Ringmasters tournament. Got cut off like halfway during the tournament. But we're going to pick it up. We promise you we're going to pick it up as soon as the state says that it's okay. We're going to pick up where we left off. I don't know what kind of boxing. I know a lot of the kids are trying to let me rephrase that. The young boxers, young athletes, they're going to want to maybe get a couple of weeks of training before they get back into the ring. But it looks like Colorado, USA Boxing is starting to ease up a little bit, but now it's the individual states. And, you know, New York, where we're based out of, it's a little tough. We got to wait on the governor. But Connecticut, we got a call from Connecticut. We may be having a show in August. We don't know yet. So we're going to let you guys know. You want to check in with us, as always, here on the Coach's Corner or on Smoker Talk Boxing. You can see that on YouTube, Facebook. If you like what you've seen on this show, share. Do us. If you share, you know, if you care, share. How about that? If you care, share. If you care about the sport, we don't want the sport to die. We want to move the sport forward, have you and you know, show you these young amateur boxers, and then you could follow them later on as they become professionals. Any last words, Joe? Anything, any parting words that you want to say to anybody out there, or where can they follow you? Do you have a social media page or anything, any tips, you know, where people can, you know, check you out, or if they want to join you, you know, in your gym?
I mean, I'm at Westbury Boxing in Nassau County. I'm a boxing coach, and I'm a mentor, and I'm a teacher. This is what I do. I'm like Dave. You know, I'm like Pat Russo and Sosa and Higgins and Starks and Lorick and all of those guys. We're all the same. I can go on and on. Matt Hapney, Scott Lopek, Kevin Collins. We're all in this together. Mike Vargas, Dave Fleming. If I leave somebody out, Moses Roman. Everybody's doing the same thing. We're teaching boxers to be better citizens. We're teaching people to be athletes. It's the hardest sport in the world to do. I don't.
He froze up a little bit. Froze up.
He froze.
I think
Sorry, Joe.
His minutes ran out on his phone, I think. Oh my God, he's gone. Oh my God,
we lost him.
All right, so we'll hold.
You ran out of megabytes or whatever.
Yeah, let's see if we can get him back on. But Dave, you want to add to that and what we were just discussing?
No, it's like hopefully you guys can learn something. All we care about is whether boxers learn something. We want to highlight boxers. Coach's Corner. It's all about techniques, and you know, we're going to show how to do the techniques, and then we're going to show that people are actually doing these techniques. You know, with fighters, meaning, you know, pro fighters, and we're going to show these techniques in use. You know, we don't want to just say, oh, you do this or you do that. We're going to show how they're used. So different boxers over the years.
All right, we got Joe.
There we go.
We thought
when did you lose me?
Out.
How long was I talking to myself?
You ran out of minutes. What happened, Joe?
How long was I talking to myself?
I don't know. You were just out a few minutes, but you got most of the points across. You know, but if you want to add to that, you know, the platform is yours.
So in my mind, I learn every day from the people I'm around. And I mentioned 20 names or so. I don't know if you heard them all. I'm not going to say them again.
Absolutely. No, we did.
Okay, good. So that's the most important thing, that the boxing people, the community that teaches the kids are as valuable as any coach or any mentors on the planet, because we're the ones going for the inner city kids, the kids nobody messes with, the kids that don't play football, the kids that don't play baseball. Some of them are great. You know, most of the guys I have now aren't at risk, but you know, it doesn't change the mission. So teach kids to be better citizens, better to be able and not willing than to be willing and not able.
There you go. Wise words from Coach Joe Gadigian. Dave, you want to add to that?
Good night.
There you go. All right. So from all of us here, thank you so much, Joe, again for joining us tonight. You did a great job, man. As always, I admire you big time, man. I think you're one of the best out there, and you're the encyclopedia, as I like to say, of boxing. By the way, you also train a pro. You're in the pros corner, right? Don't you train?
I'm on Team Selden, Cletus Selden. I'm one of the coaches. Scott Lopek and Pete Brodsky. Pete Brodsky's the chief. Scott Lopek is, you know, he's the guy who trains him up here in New York, and when he's down in Florida, Pete's with him. Pete manages him, and but I've been with him since the beginning. So, yep.
Cool.
I really appreciate the invite on here, and I think you guys are great, both of you. I'm a better person for being in your company.
Thank you. Oh my God, Thank you. That means a lot, Joe. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
All right. So with that, thank you, everyone. Tune in next Tuesday for the Coach's Corner. This Thursday, we're also going to have a show. Tune in at 8 o'clock. You can tune in on Smoker Talk, Facebook and YouTube. Also on Twitter, you can watch the show live. And on Twitch also. I think we have it on Twitch as well. But you can watch us, live and share for sure. Let's get the message of boxing and these young boxers across. And we hope to bring some live boxing to you soon here on Smoker Talk and on the Coach's Corner. So we'll see you guys next week. Again, Joe, thank you so much. You guys have a great evening and take care. See you Thursday, and we'll see you on Coach's Corner next week. Take care now. Bye.
Take care. Good night.